What's up guys, I'm Kate with TypeMatch and today I'm going to show you how to game the 16 personalities test to know how to get any type you want on it. Now the 16 personalities test, I have sort of a love-hate relationship with it because it's a test that initially really sparked my interest in MBTI. But as many people in the community know, it is widely contested because it produces so many mistypes in the community. People take this test and it gives them a false result by no fault of their own, but because the test is inaccurate and has a faulty system, strategy, premise behind it. And it leads them to think that they're a type that they aren't. So let's go through that. 16 personalities gives you, instead of a 4-letter code like a traditional MBTI test, it gives you a 5-letter code. And this is because they're truly using a Big 5 method applied to MBTI. And the Big 5, if you're not familiar, is also called OCEAN, which is an acronym standing for openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. And that last letter they give you, that A or T, is assertive or turbulent. That is the letter that they are using for the final N in the Big 5. If you want to know more about the Big 5 and how that breaks down, I definitely recommend Jordan Peterson as an excellent resource. He has a lot of videos on all of the factors of the Big 5 and how that applies to you. Okay, so let's go through. I'm going to show you how to game the system on this one. If you are an expert in MBTI, you can basically, or not even an expert, I don't know if I like the word expert, but you can pretty much game any MBTI test because you see exactly what they're asking and what method they're using behind their test. So understanding that for this, they're using OCEAN, where O, they're applying it to N or S, intuition or sensing. C, conscientiousness, they're applying to judging or perceiving, J or P. E, extroversion, obviously E or I in the MBTI. A, agreeableness, they're applying to F or T, feeling or thinking type. And then, like I said, the final letter, that A or T you get, is really a score on neuroticism. So they're saying that if you are high in trait openness, then you must be an intuitive, which is absolutely not necessarily true. If you are high in conscientiousness, then you are a judging type. If you're high in extroversion, then you're obviously an extrovert. If you're high in agreeableness, they're saying that you are a feeling type and that thinkers are automatically more disagreeable. Which for my case it is true, but for many others it's not. And then if you are high in neuroticism, then you are going to get a T at the end, which means that you are turbulent. So in taking this test, I am going to show you how to get the most popular mistype in all of the MBTI community and the type everybody thinks they are and wants to be, INFJ. So let's do it. All right, first question. You enjoy vibrant social events with lots of people. Okay, I'm trying to be an introvert, so I'm going to disagree. You often spend time exploring unrealistic yet intriguing ideas. All right, this is a trait openness question, so they're trying to determine if I am N or S. I want to be N, so I'm going to agree. All right, your travel plans are more likely to look like a rough list of ideas than a detailed itinerary. This is a conscientiousness question, J or P. I want to be a J, so I'm going to disagree. I'm just going to do strongly agree or disagree for all of these. All right. You often think about what you should have said in a conversation long after it has taken place. So I think what they're asking here is a neuroticism question, and that doesn't really matter. For getting INFJ doesn't really matter if we're INFJ A or T, but let's just go with agree. If your friend is sad about something, your first instinct is to support them emotionally, not to try to solve their problem. This is an agreeableness question. Which they are saying if you're highly agreeable, then you are a feeler. So I'm going to say yes. Agree. People can rarely upset you. All right, this is another neuroticism question, A or T. I'm going to disagree just for the sake of this demonstration. All right. You often rely on other people to be the ones to start a conversation and keep it going. This is an extroversion question. I'm trying to be an introvert, so I will agree. If you have to temporarily put your plans on hold, you make sure it is your top priority to get back on track as soon as possible. This is a conscientiousness question, J or P. I'm trying to be a J, so let's say agree. Okay. You rarely worry if you make a good impression on someone you met. This one, I wasn't sure if this is an agreeableness question or a neuroticism question, but I'm going to go with it being an agreeableness question. So you want to make a good impression on the person you meet. That meaning that you are more agreeable. So I would worry about it. Agree. It would be a challenge for you to spend the whole weekend by yourself without feeling bored. This is an extroversion question. I will disagree because I want to be an introvert here. Oops, don't go back, computer. It sometimes does that. Okay. You are more of a detail-oriented than big picture question. This is an openness question because trait openness is associated with big picture thinking, which they are saying is high intuition. So since I want to be an intuitive, I will disagree. And you are very affectionate with people you care about. Now this is interesting. It's an interesting question. Like, who isn't affectionate when you actually care about somebody? Right? I mean, maybe I'm not that affectionate, but whatever. Okay. But this is an agreeableness question. I want to be a feeler, so I will put agree. I'm very affectionate with people I care about. All right. Third page. There are how many pages? 10 pages of 6 questions each. All right. You have a careful and methodical approach to life. This is conscientiousness question, J or P. I am a J, high in conscientiousness, so yes. You are still bothered by mistakes you made long ago. This is neuroticism. Neuroticism is basically talking about like how prone you are to negative emotion and how you respond to stress. So I will say that I am very bothered by mistakes I made long ago. This is an A or T question. Where am I? Okay. At parties and similar events, you can mostly be found farther away from the action. This is an extroverted question. I'm an introvert. I'll put agree. And I'm saying I'm an introvert. I'm not really an introvert. I hope you guys understand that. I should technically be answering all these the opposite of how I'm supposed to answer them as an ESTP. But whenever I take tests like this, like if I'm answering honestly, I always get ENTP or INTP, even though I'm actually an ESTP because I am high in trait openness, and some people don't really understand extroversion. It doesn't mean that I'm an incredibly social person. All right, rant over. You often find it difficult to relate to people who let their emotions guide them. This is an agreeableness question. I'm a feeler for this, so I will disagree. When looking for a movie to watch, you can spend ages browsing the catalog. I think that I had trouble with this question, like with what they're actually asking on this question. But if I don't get every single one of them right, it's fine. I'll still get INFJ. I've done this before. You can spend ages browsing the catalog. I think this might be a openness question. I will agree. Okay. You can stay calm under a lot of pressure. This is neuroticism question. I will disagree. All right. 4th page. When in a group of people you do not know, you have no problem jumping right into their conversation. This is an extroversion question. I will disagree as an introvert INFJ. When you sleep, your dreams tend to be bizarre and fantastical. This is an openness question. And whose dreams are bizarre? We all think like, oh my God, I had the weirdest dreams last night. But I don't know about fantastical. Are my dreams fantastical in real life? But whatever, I'm supposed to be an INFJ here. That's what we're playing in this game. So agree. Oh, my leg just cracked. Okay, in your opinion, it's sometimes okay to step on others to get ahead. This is an agreeableness question. I'm supposed to be a feeler, so I will disagree. You are dedicated and focused on your goals, only rarely getting sidetracked. This is conscientiousness, J or P, so I will agree, even though an INFJ is likely to get sidetracked. Like, this is not a good question. All right. If you make a mistake, you tend to start doubting yourself, your abilities, or your knowledge. This is neuroticism question. I will agree. Although, yeah, all right. When at social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people, mostly talking to the ones you already know. I know I read that wrong, but it meant the same thing. Okay. You rarely try to introduce yourself to people. So agree, because this is an extroversion question. I have my notes here just to make sure in case I forget where I am. All right. Usually lose interest in the discussion when it gets philosophical. This is an openness question. I'm supposed to be high in openness as an intuitive type, so I will disagree. You would never let yourself cry in front of others. This is, I think, an agreeableness question. So I will disagree, because I'm supposed to be high in agreeableness, so I'm like a feeler. Although a lot of feelers would be very uncomfortable with crying in front of others, I think. You feel more drawn to places with a bustling and busy atmosphere than to more quiet and intimate ones. That is an extroversion question, E or I. You like discussing different views and theories on what the world could look like in the future. That is an openness question. Agree. All right. And by the way, to interrupt this video, you guys should check out the TypeMatch dating app on iOS and Android. It is a dating app that matches you by the 16 personality types, but not using this test, of course. We have a better one. Okay. Getting back to it, when it comes to making life-changing choices, you mostly listen to your heart rather than your head. This is an agreeableness question. This is an F or T question. I'm supposed to be a feeler that listens to their heart. I will agree. Okay, you cannot imagine yourself dedicating your life to the study of something that you cannot see, touch, or experience. This is an openness question, N or S, so I will disagree. All right, what page are we on now? Whatever. All right, you usually prefer to get your revenge rather than forgive. This is agreeableness question. Disagree, because I'm F, high in agreeableness. You often make decisions on a whim. This is conscientiousness, J or P. Disagree, because I'm high in conscientiousness. I'm a J type, INFJ. The time you spend by yourself often ends up being more interesting and satisfying than the time you spend with other people. Agree, introversion versus extroversion question. You often put special effort into interpreting the real meaning or message of a song or movie. This is about trait openness, N or S. It's supposed to be N, so agree. You always know exactly what you want. This, I think, is a neuroticism question, A or T. Although, a lot of these questions are misplaced. They should be in different categories, but I see what they're doing here. So you always know exactly what you want. Let's go disagree on that. You rarely think back on the choices you made and wonder what you could have done differently. I think that might also be a neuroticism question. On some of these, I'm not positive. But I think that's a neuroticism question as well. So, although it should be J or P. Let's go disagree. All right. When in a public place, you usually stick to quieter and less crowded areas. This is an extroversion versus introversion question. You tend to focus on present realities rather than on future possibilities. This is trait openness, N or S. So I do focus on future possibilities more, so I disagree. You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. This is agreeableness, F or T. I'm supposed to be F, so disagree. Easy time. When starting to work on a project, you prefer to make as many decisions up front as possible. This is conscientiousness, J or P. J, agree. When you know someone thinks highly of you, you also wonder how long it will be until they become disappointed in you. Now, I'm not sure if this one is agreeableness or not, but I think it's agreeableness, so let's agree. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. This is extroversion, E or I. I disagree. Okay. You often drift away into daydreaming about various ideas or scenarios. O. Openness. You look after yourself first and others come second. That is F or T. Even when you have planned a particular daily routine, you usually just end up doing what you feel like at any given moment. That is J or P, conscientiousness. Your mood can change very quickly. This is trait neuroticism, A or T. You often contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. This is openness, N or S. You often talk about your own feelings and emotions. This is agreeableness, F or T. You've got a detailed education or career development plan stretching several years in the future. Conscientiousness, J or P. You rarely dwell on your regrets. This is neuroticism, F or T. No, not F or T. A or T, sorry. Spending time in a dynamic atmosphere with lots of people around you makes you feel drained and in need of a getaway. That is an extroversion question. You see yourself as more of a realist than a visionary. I'm getting tired of reading a lot. I don't like to do that. Okay, more of a realist than a visionary. This is trait openness, N or S. I disagree. You find it easy to empathize with a person who has gone through something you never have. That is agreeableness, F or T. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than to organized and consistent efforts. That's a conscientiousness, J or P question. Is this the last page? Yeah, I'm like 90% done. All right, last one. Let's go. Your emotions control you more than you control them. That's neuroticism, A or T. After a long, exhausting week, a fun party is just what you need. That's extroversion question. You frequently find yourself wondering how technological advances could change everyday life. That is an openness question, N or S. Who doesn't wonder about that? Whatever. You always consider how your actions might affect other people before doing something. That is agreeableness, F or T. You still honor the commitments you have made, even if you have a change of heart. That is conscientiousness, J or P. You rarely feel insecure. That's neuroticism, A or T. All right, let's go see our results. Boom, boom, boom. And look at that. I am an INFJ who is turbulent, just like I thought. All right, so let's check out my scores. And I'm looking at this like a game. So I got 100%, 95%, 100%, 83%, must have missed a couple in there, and then 92%. So that's how you game the 16 personalities test. If you're looking for a better test, I highly suggest that you check out the TypeMatch website or the TypeMatch app. We have a few tests that are based on cognitive functions, but looking at them on an axis, because cognitive functions never perform in a vacuum singularly, which is a problem with other tests that focus on the cognitive function. So just, when you get this, make sure that you actually do your research and aren't just confirming the bias that it gives you. I don't care how much like this resonates with you, you relate with it, it definitely could be wrong, especially because this is not even an MBTI test. It's just using MBTI letters to signify an ocean or big 5 test. So that's that. Please remember to like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you guys.